Hi, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Paula.
And we're here at the historic Banning's Landing at the foot of Avalon Boulevard in Wilmington, California.
Today we're here to be part of an historic event as we witness the unveiling of Eugene Daub's bronze monument honoring Wilmington's founding father, Phineas Banning.
3, 5. Since I got elected, I know this community has talked about finally having a statue, dedicating the statue, and having some wonderful remembrance of Phineas Banning. And it's so great that here today we're going to do that. And if one child asked his or her parents, or one child asked his or her grandparents, who was that man? What does that statue stand for? Then what we do today will not be in vain.
How many countless times have we seen these around our towns and cities? These works of art, such as monuments and sculptures, they can be found almost anywhere.
We can find them in our parks, our schools, and our museums. But do we know what they are, or better yet, who they are?
And once we find that out, do we ever know who made them? Who took the time and implemented their talents to shape and mold these heroic monuments? Probably not. We just end up going on by and never giving it a second thought.
But not today.
That's right, today's a different story.
I'm Kate.
And I'm Megan.
And we're standing outside the home and studio of Eugene Daub. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, who? Who's Eugene Daub?
Well, he just happens to be a resident here in San Pedro and a world-renowned sculptor. He created some of those monuments we mentioned a minute ago.
And today we have the rare opportunity to meet and get to know the man chosen by the city to create and sculpt the commemorative statue of Phineas Banning, the founder of the Los Angeles Harbor.
So let's go inside.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Great, come on in.
Thank you.
Wow. This is where we live.
Awesome.
Thank you.
See that? That's interesting.
How did the concept for this statue come about?
Well, it started out with this little maquette over here, and that's Phineas taking the depths, which means reading how deep the water is so that he could see if he could drag in the small lighters that would carry the cargo from the tall ships in the harbor. And then after I finished it, I thought, well, there's got to be another idea left in there, and so I came up with this one. And the whole idea for this is starting out with the transportation on 3 different sides. And the first one is the ships being pulled in by the little steamer. And then once they're brought into the harbor, Phineas had stagecoaches, and they would take them from the port then to wherever they were going. And eventually he accumulated enough money that he could buy a little locomotive and take them by locomotive. I wanted to have something that represented the different modes of transportation, because that's really what he did. And so it was like how to represent him and transport all the modes of transportation. But then I had to come up with something in the figure, otherwise he was just a figure. So the rope symbolized pulling.
When did you first realize you wanted to become a sculptor?
It was early in the 60s. I was attending a school in Pittsburgh, and I guess I was just looking a lot in those days and looking at different forms of art, and that's the one that appealed to me.
What prompted you to take on this particular project?
Well, this was a competition that was held, and the Friends for Banning's Landing put the competition out to an art consultant, and then she invited three sculptors to each submit a maquette to a committee.
So how does this project differ from any other projects they've worked on before?
Well, it's very similar to a lot of public commission type work where there's competitions where there's anywhere from 3 to 8 artists involved in competing that have to submit a drawing or a maquette like the one behind you, as opposed to an artist who would just be working for their own personal work, who would first then generate a piece of art and then take it to a gallery, and then if anyone's interested, they buy it. This way, it's sort of a job, it's problem solving.
Because you live locally, does this project have any special significance to you?
Oh, it does, because I've never done a project in my own backyard. It's always gone out to Kansas or New Jersey or someplace like that, and I'll never see it again, where this is sort of in my own backyard. What I'll do next is I'll make a mold, a rubber mold, just like this, of Phineas, and then I'll make a hard copy like this, and then that will be given to the scanner, and then the scanner will read. I'll set this in front of the screen, and then the screen will shoot a laser beam that records the forms as it turns. And after it's totally recorded in the scanner, then they'll take that software and they'll put it in a milling machine. And now the next step is to take a big block of foam, and then the milling machine will turn the block of foam, and a drill will come down and cut the shape that's recorded in the scanner, in the software, will cut that shape larger, whatever it's set for, whatever rate of enlargement, maybe 3 times, 2 times. So he's just about done now, except for a few details. He's going to get some pockets on the front. And then the next step will be the mold maker will come in and they'll start to cut him in pieces. And then they'll take him away in parts, and then they'll make separate rubber molds. And then hopefully you'll see that at the foundry, the rubber molds, and then the rubber molds will be then used to paint the wax into, and then molds of those waxes will be made and then burned out, and into those molds then the bronze ends up. And then it's back to me for some final finishing, and at that point we do the patina, and that's it.
Well, we're looking forward to the unveiling.
Goodbye, both of you, and thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Pleasure.
3, 5.
Yeah, I think it's great, and I think hopefully it'll bring people to Wilmington to come and see who Phineas Banning was and learn more about him, because he was the father of our harbor, and hopefully many more people will learn about his life and the history that comes with him.